So quite recently, the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, Big Ange, she was asking a parliamentary question. How many bedrooms you got in your grace-and-favour apartment, the one that you get for, you know, because you're the Deputy Prime Minister? It's in Admiralty Arch. Fantastic address, right in the centre of London, by Pall Mall, by the Mall and by Trafalgar Square. Couldn't get a better address. She didn't answer this question for security reasons. For security reasons, you know, she's an important person. The real reason, I would suggest, unhumbly, is that she doesn't want us to know the opulence in which she lives at our expense. She doesn't want to know the opulence that she lives in, because that would ruin her working class hero image, wouldn't it? Let's talk to the economics editor at The Spectator, Michael Simmons. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
There was a Freedom of Information request that went in subsequent to Angela's refusal to say how many bedrooms she's got. So we can now exclusively reveal, or not that exclusively, but we can reveal that the Admiralty Arch, this working class hero, has 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Fabulous view of Buckingham Palace, one of the best addresses in London, a typical working class hero, a typical champagne socialist who tells us, I can't tell you how many bedrooms I've got because of security reasons. It's not that, is it, Michael?
No. I mean, it's for the reasons you say. And to be clear, you know, the Tories, when they were asking these questions and putting in the Freedom of Information request, they already knew the answer, of course, because they had previously been in this building. So it's a bit cheeky. But what I would say is by the way, I've got no problem with Angela Rayner living there. I think people that are in, you know, high offices of state, it's daft to pretend that they should, you know, not live in nice conditions and not be in the centre of London. But Angela Rayner is ridiculous to try and hide it. You know, just be honest about it. She thinks that her popularity, which she has within Labour members, will span out across the country because she tries to pursue this working class image. But that's not how working class people actually think. Working class people are super aspirational, right? So they want to do well in their lives. They want to, you know, get better homes, get better jobs, etc., etc. What they don't want to see is somebody that has come from the same background as us, and then, you know, climb up into the position of Deputy Prime Minister and pretend that you're still, you know, living a sort of hand-to-mouth existence. It's just ridiculous. So she should just be totally honest and say, yeah, I do live in this nice accommodation, but I'm the Deputy Prime Minister.
Exactly right. And she's, of course, she's got these, it was kind of confusing, but I think she owns at least 2 homes up in the north. She got a right to buy one through the Thatcher scheme, and she had another home as well. So she got this nickname during that drama about whether or not she'd been completely open about her property arrangements. In the end, she was found to be innocent of all charges, I suppose. So she was nicknamed Angela 2 Homes Rayner then. But the truth is she's Angela 3 Homes Rayner, thanks to this fabulous place she stays in London. And don't forget, Michael, not so long ago, it was revealed that when she went to New York, she stayed in, of course, Labour's Dr. Feelgood donor, Lord Wahid Ali's £2 million New York flat, 2 bedrooms, 1,300 square feet. So this is a working class girl. I've got nothing against this, by the way, but this is a working class girl who comes from the bottom of the ladder, who these days is living in some style. Good for her, but typical of her ilk, she's embarrassed about the luxury she now enjoys. I don't think she should be, do you?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think she should be proud of it. I mean, whatever, I don't personally agree with a lot of sort of the policies that Angela Rayner espouses, but I don't begrudge her, you know, working hard to get to where she's got to, and she should be proud of it. But more than that, what ministers must not do is cut off these opportunities for everyone else. So, you know, you can't acquire all these houses because you have worked hard and done well, and then tax everyone else in Britain to the absolute hilt, so that it's impossible for the rest of us to, buy one house, let alone the second, the third, and stay in the New York mansion. I think, we need to get back to, aspiration in this country and say, great, you have done well. You do have a second home, although ideally at minimum cost to the taxpayer. But I want everyone else to follow me up, and I'm going to get rid of regulations. I'm going to change the tax environment. I'm going to build loads of homes to make that an attainable goal for everyone else. But I would say that this government is talking about doing that, but its actions don't seem to, deliver any of that.
In terms of the house building, we're just looking at, if you're watching on the telly, we're just looking at shots of Angela, on building sites with Starmer and stuff like that, construction sites. And of course, she is the housing minister as well as being deputy prime minister. And she has pledged to build, many, many houses. And I believe that if she were to keep her promises for how many houses she's going to build, she'd have to be getting people to erect a house every 3 minutes. So that's not quite working out. Is she getting anywhere at all, Michael, as far as you're aware, with her home building project? Or is it, as I understand it, not really going anywhere fast?
Yeah, look, she's talking the talk, but we're just not walking the walk yet as a country. It's particularly bad in London, where I think the number of affordable homes that are being started has dropped down into like the double figures. So it's just nowhere near enough for the kind of building that she would need to get anywhere near her targets. Another issue is a lot of councils sort of fiddle the figures and make everything worse. So rather than actually building new affordable homes, they will buy private property that's come onto the market and rebadge it as an affordable home, which means for those, people who are in work and are going for these private properties to rent or buy, they're now competing against the state, who's trying to buy them to turn them into social housing. And basically, I admire her ambition on this. She's right to say that we need to be building all these homes, but we need a sort of cross-government approach where we slash every regulation that's in the way, where we take planning permission centrally so that it can't be blocked by any council that wants to, and say, look, we are just going to get these built. And I think she does seem to want to do that, but she's not going far enough, and the other ministers in the cabinet are maybe getting in the way of that. And Labour as a whole is just getting nowhere near where it needs to be on house building.
And of course, her other big project is the workers' rights deal, which seems like an ongoing catastrophe, a complete kind of restriction on the rights of businesses or business owners to actually run their businesses in any kind of sensible way. Do you remember at one point part of this was she had to accept this was bizarre, but it's a window into her kind of thinking. She wanted a law which banned bosses from ever in any way contacting their employees after 6 p.m. I mean, in my business, for example, or our business, that would be absurd. But you know what I mean? This workers' rights bill is about as successful as her housing project, not very successful at all, and is infuriating bosses.
Well, this is a classic example of a Labour policy that I'm sure is very popular with Labour voters. And if you're a Labour MP, you think, oh, great, this is why the Labour movement exists. It's to create workers' rights. But they never think about the consequences. And what's more important than, improving workers' rights in a country that already has some of the strongest workers' rights in the world is actually getting people into jobs and getting people up the job ladder. And what this, bill will do is absolutely destroy that. We've already seen over 100,000 jobs lost because of the national insurance rise on employers. And all this is going to do now is it's going to add costs to employing. It's going to make employers say, I'm not going to take
Michael, we've got to go, but thank you so much.